That's all you've got? What happened to searching for your answer? Fight's over. Do you yield?
You won.
Well then, looks like you found your answer.
I give his glory to you.
I've seen that light. That is the light of our Lord, the great Hermanubis, priest over all other priests. His spirit dwells within that lightning, and his will lives on. Once a warrior of Tynar, he emerged from the barren desert sands to serve the god king Al-Ahmar. After the death of the god king, Hermanubis gathered his followers and the Tynarian priests and led them to the city of Tule-Tula. There, they founded the Temple of Silence, and from that day forth, we became stewards of all knowledge that survived from King Deshret's civilization. Barely a century passed before war ravaged the desert. One by one, Eremite leaders took up arms against each other in battles that would devour what little remained of their civilization. Only the wise city of Tule-Tula was spared under the guiding hand of the Tynarians. But peace did not last. Coveting the knowledge of King Deshret, the beasts set their eyes on Tule-Tula. The king of Gurabad laid siege to the city and ordered the sages to surrender to him the Temple of Silence as proof of his victory. The ruling elite colluded with their oppressors, betraying the temple so as to hold on to their rule over the city. They declared that the knowledge guarded by the temple was the true cause of corruption. These were dark days, and we faced enemies on all sides. Our Lord had long since exhausted his strength, keeping the forbidden knowledge introduced by King Deshret at bay. To ensure the temple's continued survival, he broke his being into many pieces and began the ceremony of Hermanubis' legacy, bestowing his power upon his mortal followers. With this power, the temple was able to defeat the tyrant's army. Yet, we were not hailed as heroes. Strange and unfamiliar as this power was, it struck fear into the people's hearts and drove them to reject us. In the end, the people of the temple and the Tule-Tula Tynarians left the city for good and made their way to the rainforest. What followed next was inevitable. The elite of Tule fell and were decimated. War engulfed the desert. And we wandered from place to place, always in hiding, all the while keeping close watch over our secrets and staying true to our mission. Betrayal forced us out of the desert and into the forest. Then mistrust drove us from the forest into the desert once more. We have lived in exile for far, far too long. Yet, today, the Temple of Silence has borne witness to the glory of Hermanubis once more. Thank you.
How is it? Do you feel
Grandfather.
Hey, Sethos.
I know. I guess you were prepared for this. It's been a long time. Yeah, he's been on death's door for a very long time now. I think it was only through sheer willpower that he managed to hold on to this point. At least, he was able to see this chapter come.
What's next for you?
Per my grandfather's last wishes. The Temple of Silence should submit to whoever possesses the largest number of Hermanubis fragments.
But that's never going to work, as I'm sure you realize. I'm the general. I did foresee this possibility, and I gave it some thought. The fact is, I know next to nothing about the staff, records, and environment here. Sethos. I believe were it not for this duel, or indeed if you had other intentions, the Ba fragments would most likely be in your hands by now. I'm sure Bamun never meant for anyone but you to be his successor. I do.
Still, I didn't think Bamun looked very surprised by the final result. Perhaps he had an inkling.
Well, in any case, since the Ba fragments are with me now, I guess I can call the shots. Sethos, I would like you to succeed Bamun as the new leader of the Temple of Silence. You are more suited to the role than I, and I have complete faith that you will...
But doesn't that render everything that we've...
No, it doesn't. This experience has allowed us to become friends, which means that the Academia and the Temple of... That's a much bigger deal than you might think, Sethos. You said yourself, times have changed. You have to believe that things can change for the better here at the...
I will try. To be honest, I couldn't have asked for a better...
Actually, part of me wonders whether Bamun's intentions from the very beginning was just to create enough pressure to force us towards a duel. That way, no matter who won, one of us would have to surrender our Ba fragment, and the power of Hermanubis. Had you won, the Temple of Silence would have doubled its strength. And were I to win, he correctly anticipated that I wouldn't suddenly drop everything to become the leader of the temple, much less integrate the temple into the Academia by force. He knew that the temple's future would depend not just on the guidance of Hermanubis, but the support of the academia too. So he made it his responsibility to ensure his success. His plan meant that whoever ended up succeeding him, they would have an easier time interacting with the academia. With one single
And here I thought the General Mahamatra wouldn't care for all these trivial details. You're absolutely right. Grandfather and I considered this from every angle. We had to find a way to mend our relationship with the academia. Thank you for everything, Sino. As a gesture of our gratitude, to those that you and Lesser Lord Kusanali deem worthy, I will grant the honor of access to the Temple of Silence for their pursuit of knowledge. The Temple of Silence has a wealth of information on King Deshret's civilization, more than any other organization in existence today. In times when you need information that only we can provide. But you must be exceedingly careful with your selection of candidates, lest you lead humanity to repeat the same mistakes. By the way, Tainari, my grandfather was so happy to see you. You are a descendant of the Valuka Shuna, and we are the heirs to the will of Hermanubis. The story goes that King Deshret chose the sage Hermanubis from among the Tainarians and appointed him as his familiar. He went on to fight many valiant battles with his Tainarian companions. They always stood by each other. From the founding of the Tainarians who left Tule-Tula joined their human counterparts in the rainforest. A few centuries later, when some of the group returned to the desert, many of the Tainarians chose to stay and put down roots in the rainforest. In all likelihood, those were your... How fascinating. My father once mentioned that I was named after the Tainarians, but I never knew that my forebears had such a history with the Temple of Silence.
I like this story.
By the way, has it...
Yes, Cyrus. You'll probably find him in my grandfather's room. He wouldn't show it in front of me, but... If it's true that you and your grandfather really planned for everything to turn out this way, then I guess he didn't really... Who knows? Perhaps all of us. You, me, and so...
Someone's got to make the decisions when history is at a crossroads. I will make a detailed report on all of this to Lesser Lord Kusanali, and arrange for an official delegation from the academia to come and meet you in the desert. I'm sure you'll have lots to attend to in the days ahead. But once things return to normal, please come and visit the rainforest again. You should stay for a few days this time, if we're going to work together. Both sides have to get to...
I will. All right. Well... Bye.
See you soon. Come hang out with us anytime.
Grandfather, we did it. From this day on, the Temple of Silence has the chance to work with the academia.
What were you thinking, gallivanting off into the desert alone at your age? What if you take the bucket, You told not a soul what you were up to, designated nobody to handle your affairs, and left everyone scrambling frantically to try and figure out—
Oh, please, will you stop your yelling?
What do you mean, what other choice? Do you mean to tell me that after all your years of learning, and sagehood no less, the only idea you could conjure up in that white-haired walnut of yours was to shoot off into the unknown like some hot-headed 20-year-old adventurer? A one-man suicide mission, That's the best idea that one of the finest minds of a generation could come up with, is it? It astounds me that you survived the journey, and you're lucky that bomb—
All right. Honestly, the way you're going off on me, it's like you wished you'd been there to lend him a hand. Does it mean nothing to you that I'm your
I've got nothing more to say. What's the point?
What do you mean, bag of bones? I'm a flesh and blood hero who, despite his old age, saved our General Okay, look. Fine, I admit it, I was in the wrong. How can I make it up to you?
1 month.
Inari's master is really laying into Cyrus. Let's give them a wide berth.
Professor brought this on himself.
Wow, I haven't seen Master. The last time he chewed someone out like this must have been back when I was still a student.
I think I'll go around and update everyone. Tell them the situation's resolved. Want to come with me? We can go for dinner afterwards. My treat.
Makes sense. I'm in.
Paimon's coming too, let's—
You'd better start packing your things. Report for work first thing tomorrow morning.
What about my allowance? Oh!
Don't push your luck. Let's not forget who is
Hey, man's gotta eat. Help me figure out something for lunch at least.
Hey, Kale.
You're back! Well, look who we have here. Would you mind explaining to me what has been going on this past few days? I heard you all—
All taken care of.
That does not answer my question. How could you be so careless? That goes for you as well. Yes, and you too. When you run into problems, you really ought to ask for help, you know? I've been around the block. Don't you think it would have made sense to involve me?
Now would not be a good time to attempt to argue with Far—
You're right.
It's not the first time that I've had to talk to you about this sort of thing either. You need to learn that there are times when the right thing to do is get a more experienced member of staff involved. Do I make myself—
Kale, please do something.
He's giving me the signal. All right, guess it's—
Say, Madame Farzan, I can see you're pretty upset, but, I was just wondering.
Huh? Wait, did I hear that right? Kale, you remember? Wonderful. Well—
Poor Kale getting dragged off like that. Also, check out Farzan acting like—
Kale! Cup.
Huh? What?
What do you mean, cup? You need a cup.
Oh, it's nothing. Just Master's way of reminding me to stay hydrated while I'm out and about.
It's code for let's reconvene at the cafe. Tainari and I used it while we were in school, and it's become something of a family tradition now.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm. 2 people left. Let's bring them along, too. Am I hallucinating? Or do I see Kaveh and Alhaitham?
We're just reorganizing all the books we used. Look, there's a whole
There's no rush. Nobody reads these. My sincere thanks to you both.
Yes, with your help, we resolved the issue rather swiftly and painlessly.
I see. The Temple of Silence resorted to rather unique means of self-preservation. It explains how they managed to remain hidden for so many years.
And it sounds like they managed to preserve a whole load of ancient documents as well. I'd love to go check those out if I ever had the chance.
That day will come. The Temple of Silence is a hugely important organization, and we'll be sure to maintain good relations with them in the future. Now, as a token of my appreciation.
Yeah, sounds great. Although after the last few days, I don't know if I can.
Sure.
And then the Traveler just pounced on their opponent and knocked him right out cold. Then there was Tainari. He put up an amazing fight too. We ended up winning all 3 bouts. Whoa. Part of me wishes I'd been there to see it, but I'd have been biting my nails off worrying about you guys.
A truly edifying account of the events. Bereft of detail.
Hey, Paimon included all the juicy details. The Traveler just pounced and then waved their sword like this, then spun around.
Despite winning 3 bouts in a row, you still ceded the position of leader to him. That's very dignified of you, Sino.
Of course. Being dignified comes with being a true champion.
I got to be a champion too for once. I've not sparred much with desert folk before. It was a pretty unique experience.
Yeah, huge place. It felt like something right out of an epic poem. Imagine this. It was like there was...
Maybe save that one for later, Paimon.
I think that'll do me for today.
Shall we stop off at the House of Dana again before heading home? We should probably finish putting all those books back.
My thoughts exactly. See you around.
I should get going as well. See you all later. Make sure you get some good rest tonight.
I need to go say thanks to the Core 30 for their help. Also, Sir Nephis says he wanted to introduce me to some of the Academia's work processes.
Kali's come a long way. She's much more confident at dealing...
Everyone's a work in progress. You never stop learning.
Yeah, true.
That was good. It feels like everything's final. Life is all about these moments when you can finally relax and hang out with good friends after a job well done. And also, those desserts Sino got, they were really good. Paimon definitely needs more of those in the future.
Do you three have anything planned for the rest of the day? If not, would you come somewhere with me? That's a secret for now. Wouldn't want...
Okay. I think I can guess what you're talking about.
Well, now Paimon's curious. Come on, let's go.
Been a while since I last made my way up.
Look at...
Need any help?
It's a nice spot, isn't it?
What a great view! We're so high up, we can...
Traveler, turn around. This is my secret base. Somewhere I only bring my best friends. When I was a student, I used to slip away and climb up here all the time, just to clear my head. Back then, I had a lot of the same questions that Sethos was asking. Who am I? Why do I have this power? And what our gifts help us to find our rightful place in the world. That was my experience. And I'm sure Sethos will figure things out in his own time, too.
You two really are like brothers.
I feel the same way. Of course. I see no need to be humble.
I still remember one time when we came up here to chat and do our homework. Sino accidentally dropped a fruit. Luckily, he has fast reflexes, so he caught it just...
That was the one and only time. Nothing will ever slip through my fingers again.
Those were good times. I kinda miss the student life.
You know, Paimon really shouldn't be able to imagine Sino doing something like that, but for some strange reason, the mental image is...
Then make it stop. It's... You guys carry on without me.
Okay.
Huh? Hey, you're not supposed to...
Oh my days. I can't believe how stupid I look in...
Professor?
Sino. Ha, just the man I'm looking for. Guess what I found in some...
Some old photos?
Can you believe it? This notebook was just sitting in a pile of odds and ends in the Sage's office. I must have forgotten to take it with me, and no one's touched it since. I was at the Academia earlier to discuss my workload with Nephis. I swung by the old... Oh, time flies. Look how tiny you are in this picture.
You look quite young yourself in that one. Ah, it's this one. I remember that. Lisa took it, didn't she?
Yep. Looks like her work, all right. Who else could have found just the right angle?
And this one. Looks like we're both dozing off.
Oh, cheeky girl. Taking secret
Is there something you'd like to say to me, Professor?
Like what? Like, these are good photos? Hey, at moments like this, I hardly know where to begin. I can't pretend I'm a good person. But Moon had every reason to despise me. And well, so do you if you feel the same way.
Don't be ridiculous.
Is that not what you wanted me to? Oh, I've dreamt of that place many times after leaving the desert. Sometimes I've dreamed that I was doing research with them again. Oh, it was one of the happiest times of... You've matured so much over the years, I know.
Since you're my professor, I should save you some face by not calling you out on all the non-answers you just gave.
Good thinking. Take your own advice next time. Seriously, why bully an old man like me? I thought heroes were supposed to be... Hey, wait, how did I not notice this one earlier?
Lisa strikes again. Just how many did she take?
Look how cute you were when you were little. I remember how well-mannered you were back then, too.
Yeah, and look how serious and professional you used to.
Oh, I can't compete with you anymore. First you get better than me at the deadpan jokes, and now...
Don't say that.
That's more... Hey, what would you say to meet...
I'd like that. Let's find a time and pay her a visit in Mont...
All right, I'll add it to my schedule. Let's go next week. Wait, no. Next week is the tomato growing competition. I have got...
Or you could find a real hobby, Professor.
Time has passed too quickly, but it turns out grown-up kids are no use. When Nephis comes after me, Cyno still can't do anything to protect me. Oh, that boy.
Great view today. This atmosphere calls for a joke out of left field, to catch the listener unawares.
Uh...